let's set some boundaries as a mother who is getting divorced, already divorced, or you're not married and you're trying to work on how do I keep um, my sanity and help him with his sanity as we are trying to co-parent or non-co-parent. Things that you need to understand that if you never did before, you are first, right? I, I'm Christian, so I believe that the Lord comes first, you the next, and then your children, right? And then your spouse and children. Society has taught us that it is better for a woman to care about everyone else, and then she will be fulfilled. Absolutely incorrect. How it works is it is God. You give God your heart, your mind, and your soul. Then it goes to self, and then the relationship between you and God reflects on or teaches you how to treat other people with wisdom, discernment, and all those things that you will begin to develop. Anywho, you have to care about yourself first. You have to understand that you have the key to your best interest connected with God, right? And you got to know that first. So read your word, find you some good pastors. I have been virtually taught, and I don't know these men, by Tim Ross, Eric Thomas, and all of them, from Eric Thomas. What's that young man name? Jamal King, CJ, Les Brown, um, um, Earl Nightingale. Um, those are the men that come to my mind, right? When it comes up to preachers, there's a whole bunch of women preachers that Sarah Roberts, Jackie Perry. Oh my Lord, Jackie, Jesus. When I say conviction, when the Holy Spirit comes through, her conviction is real. So these are the people that I have listened to. There's also other female, or there's other women preachers that teach the gospel of God. And as you learn more about God, you will learn about yourself and how he made you by having a relationship with him. And so you understand how priority of you is. Not in a selfish way, but in a selfless and in a selfishless way. I don't think I said it right, but you get my drift. If you don't get my drift, you're tripping. So you need to know that first. And then it comes to the kids. You have to understand that in order for you to be a great mom, you have to understand that you have to know who you are. You have to know your capacity, what you can and can't do, so that you can be able to know who to allow in and who to keep out. Because you need the opposite attract. You need to know where your weaknesses are, that you have someone there to be your strength. That's important. That's very important for you to know that foundation before you even start breaking down boundaries between you and boundaries on what to do and how to quote a child. Now, if everything is safe everything is safe with him, hey babe, if everything is safe with him, meaning there is no domestic violence, verbal, mental, emotional, and unfortunately, in many toxic relationships, if that's what you were in, whether it was you who was the abuser or the abused, whichever one that goes, you have to be mindful, and that your tongue with God talks about, which James and Paul talks about. If anything, if you don't read any scripture, if you don't read any chapter in the Bible, please read James. Please read James. Hebrew, Romans, Acts, James. Read them. If you don't read nothing else, stop, Miss Henry. If you don't read nothing else, read that. You're bothering stuff for nothing. And if you want attention, give me a couple of minutes and I got you. Okay? All right. But you bothering stuff, that's not okay when I'm trying to do the video. So, as you learn, what did I tell you? And what are you doing? So what are we going to do now? Pop. No, we don't have to do pop right now. We can do something else. What do you want to? What else are we going to do? Play with the bag. There we go. Good idea. Let's go do that. Appreciate it. Love you too. So I don't know if I lost my train of thought. When you understand, if you are in a domestic relationship, a domestic violence, especially, but and please hear me out, that physical and emotional is still an impact. They impact you really. Physical has been involved, emotional, and please go get the help. There are resources available. I'm gonna see if I can put the hotline right here if I remember, or put it in the chat so that you can get the help that you need. What I'm getting at is, whether you are the abuser or the one who's being abused, you need to be mindful that your tongue is a problem. I met a lot of women who are beautiful on the outside, but their tongue is nasty. Tongue is extremely nasty, very provocative, and everybody wants to talk about the power of a woman, but please understand, it is important for you to understand that what you say to yourself, what you say to your children, and what you say to that man is important. Because that's how what you say to yourself, how you carry out the actions that you have. Because many of us are reacting instead of responding, and the difference is I react out of emotion, how do I feel right now, versus me responding by collecting at least 75% of the information of, okay, do I know you? Where is this coming from? How did I get here? What am I feeling? Let me acknowledge my feelings. And my feelings are hurt. Okay, my feelings are hurt. How can do I need to ask more questions? Many of us, when we get upset, we don't ask no questions. It's just red. We have to ask more questions, but your tongue needs to be held in your mouth. You don't need to be running your mouth without figuring out what's going on with you before you respond. And that is basically better than reacting. Because reacting is, I'm going to say however I feel, and whether it cuts your soul or not, I don't care. That is not a woman of God. That is not a woman that's going to uphold her family and provide structure and peace. Because when a woman's soul is unease and is filled of pain and destruction, everybody gonna feel it. Many of us are aggressive. I'm passive aggressive, but many of us are aggressive, right? And we need to be assertive, and that's where that discernment, that's where that middle ground is, and that's why it's so important to read the word, because the word will help with your mind. And then we're gonna talk more about what you read. So let's get back to boundaries. So now that you know how important it is about you, let's now move to the next one. Now this is a speed talk, but now that you understand how important it is that you have to make sure that you are good and that you are regulated, because if not, you are going to destroy that man. You can provoke that man. You can also destroy your children. You can also destroy your job, providing for your kids, especially if you're a single mom like me. Like, you have to understand that your tongue, what you say, your mind, what you say to yourself is so important. And we're going to get into what you allow inside of your mind and how you talk. We'll get into that in a minute. So now that you know about your tongue, hush. Okay? I know some of us, like me, I didn't talk enough. Right? I talked when it was too late. I was a yes woman. A pick me, whatever we call it, right? So I did everything I was told to do until my spirit, I exploded. And I was giving out warnings. The young man didn't care, but that's not important. Anyway, so let's talk about, after we talk about the tongue, discernment, let's talk about boundaries. So, one, what is best for you that also keeps the kids safe, mentally, emotionally, spiritually? That man, there are things that he can say to get you going, and there are things that you can say to get him on. All that's revolving the tongue, got to go. And when he says those things to you, here's some verbiage that I learned from my coach. At this time, no. Do not talk to me in that fashion. And you have to say it in this tone. Okay? No yelling. Do not talk to me in that way. I do not respond well to that. That is absolutely disrespectful. When you are ready when you are ready to talk to me calmly, call me back. As of right now, I need some time because this is not okay. If it's in physical and he gets towards you, say that you're gonna call the police. And please call the police. Like we ain't playing these games about I said I'm gonna call the police, but I don't want to call the police on him. We'll do that. You mean what you say what you mean. I should have said it at the beginning. Please mean what you say and say what you mean. We can't go back and forth. This is how we're gonna set boundaries. Mean what you say and say what you mean. Right? That's not destruction. Because some of us be in our feelings and want to control the man that he cannot be controlled. Please understand, just like he can't control your mouth, you can't control him. The man gonna do whatever he want to do. That's why it's important for you to only care about how you respond and and make sure you are safe. Because some of us say that we ain't say that we're not safe when we are the ones who cause what is that lady name? Is it Kitty? It's not Kitty Rose. I can't remember that lady name. You need to subscribe to talk to Nice Conversations with Ace and the people that he have on his panel. Don't just buy the clips, get the app. For real. Those conversations are very important to have. I can't remember that chocolate lady. God dang it. She was chocolate. She was pretty. I can't remember her name. But she's a counselor, if I'm not mistaken. Please. And I want to say it's Kitty. I think it's Kitty Rose. I think I'm referring to somebody else. Get on that man app. Stop playing. Anywho, but she discussed about how many of us say that we're not safe when we contributed to it not being a safe environment because of our energy and our tongue. Told you about that. Anyway, so next, so mean what you say, do it. Mean what you say what you mean. Do it, right? And make sure you back up. But when he comes forward to you, right, you stand your ground and you say, hey, I will call the police, I will call the police, I will call the police, right? And do it. If he doesn't back off, and do it. Because some men have saw that you don't do what you say what you mean. Or you have called the police and accepted them back in his home. That happens. That's real. You gotta let him go. Listen, you cannot control that man. You can't control what he want to say, what he want to do, but you can control what you accept. No, I'm not gonna accept you talking to me like that. That's not okay. Call me back when you get a chance. And if you're over the phone, even better. Hey, this is not gonna work. Now, the statement that I'm saying, meaning you are calm, you're ready to have this conversation, you're open to it. That's why I said self is so important, because if you don't work on yourself, you're not going to be ready to have adult conversations with this man about your kids. You're just not. You're not going to do right. You're just not going to do right. You're not going to do right. And so the boundary is regulate self. Next boundary is control your tongue. Next boundary is you would say, hey, you would not talk to me like that. So any conversations that when disrespects are coming from either tongue, hey, this is not going well. Let's take a 5, let's take a 10, let's take an hour and come back, and you actually do say, hey, are you ready to have this conversation? And they say they're not. But when it's being delayed more than a couple days, that's a problem. That's okay. That means they're using silence against you as a way of manipulation to make you talk more and do what you want them to do. Many of us don't like that tension, and we fold when you should not be folding. You should not be folding. Like, okay, I meant what I said when I said it. And if I got to come to you, please understand, hey, I waited enough time. It's time for us to have this conversation. Oh, I don't want to talk about it. Just forget about it. Okay, so this is what I'm going to do. this, and this, and this, and then end the conversation. Oh, all right. So if y'all don't live in the same household, which y'all shouldn't, if y'all don't stay in the same household, then nobody should be coming past the front door. Straight up. And if the kids are safe, if he is safe, unfortunately, many men can be disrespectful to their child's mother and not be that disrespectful to the kids. I don't know how the men do it, but they do it. It's real. So with that being said, nobody should be coming past the front door. Absolutely not. He don't need to come in the house. The bag should be ready. You should have the bag ready. And that's it. Hey, how you doing? This is time. And then here's another thing. Please plan around the time. If you have, there are some men here, some men and women. I'm specifically talking to women and dealing with the men. There's some men that would say, hey, I'll be here at this time, and he does not communicate how he's going to be late. Please make sure you already have plans. You would give him a 30-minute window. I feel like 15 minutes really is realistic. 15-30-minute window. Hey, between this time and this time, you said you're going to come pick up the baby. Cool, fine. Again, safe. If it is not safe, please consider outsourcing it to a third party to do supervised visitation. It is possible. It costs more money, but it's about your kid's safety. And if you ain't got the money, that means you need to go budget. And we need to talk more about how we can upscale your resume so that you can get more money. Because no mama, listen, if you don't have a record, and even if you don't have a degree, I don't got a degree, baby. There's no reason why you should be racking up at least every $2,000 to $3,000 every other year. No reason. No reason why. I don't care how many kids you got. Don't care. And I'll be honest with you, if you struggling, you pass 4, let's stop. Let's take care of the kids that we have before we keep your legs closed. For real. Cause mine is closed. So I'm not saying this to you to be disrespectful. Mine is closed. Okay, ain't got time. Ain't got time. No, I don't. I'm not gonna go through these shenanigans again with some man that don't have his stuff together. I'm not gonna do it because I don't got my stuff together. So what I'm fooling with you for? Anywho, went on tangent. So, where was I? So 30 minutes, 15-30 minutes, no more than that. And if he doesn't text you within the time before or within a couple times, but a couple minutes before the time, hey, I'm be late, so and so happened, or I'm not gonna be able to come. It's important for you to always have something ready to do for the kids, whether he show up or not. If he show up, he do what he's supposed to do, great. Be very short. Here's the bag. Here you go. Have a good one. Bring her back. Bring him back at this on time that you agree. Cool, fine, good. That's it. Hey, I just want to talk to. Let's talk. Let's go ahead and enjoy your son, be with your son, and just come back, and then later we can talk about it, at a different time. No, I want to talk about it right now. I have some things planned. I really appreciate you coming to pick up the baby. Cool, fine, good. That's it. Man, why you short of me? Why you tripping? Baby, you ain't tripping. You setting boundaries. You got things to do. There's a lot of mothers like me that don't have that opportunity, that actually have a father that wants to be active and be there for their child. So please utilize the fathers who love and care for their children. What you messing with? Minnie, what you messing with? Okay, keep on playing with the bags. She just want to talk to bags in there. Like balloons, just anyway. So those are boundaries set. Now, this has worked for a mother that I personally worked with. She cool peeps. I told her these are things that you need to do, and when she did it, he was all in his feelings, and he even got to the point where he discarded the child because she wouldn't let him do the things that he wanted to do. You know what I mean? And guess what? that's a reality that she has to deal with. And no, it's not okay. Yes, he should, but guess what? We got to keep moving. We got to make sure that our kids are protected and that things are being said. I'm not for the I'm not for to create my time around you. We ain't together for what? That's my little tangent. Y'all be free. I hope these boundaries help you, and we'll talk later.